Summer is here, which means wedding season is in its full glory. If you're a wedding guest and you can't bring your makeup artist or you don't have a makeup artist, then this is a tutorial you should save and follow. The first thing you're going to start with is a very clean face. I'm going to use micellar water on a cotton pad and you're going to clean your face nicely. You don't want any dirt, any creams, nothing. We want to start on a clean, fresh slate. Look at that, that is so dirty. I haven't applied anything. Then we're going to use a good moisturizer. You don't want the moisturizer to be very thick. Neither do you want it to be very thin to the point where it's not moisturizing. Use a moisturizer that is suitable for your skin type and also something that wears well under makeup. Now, while I don't like using very heavy eye creams, what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of the same moisturizer and then just apply it under my eyes. And this is going to give my skin the time to soak in everything while I do my eye makeup. Your skin should feel slightly tacky. I'm using the Urban Decay Toh PH Lip Oil just to moisturize my lips while I do the rest of my face. Using the Huda Beauty Color Corrector to basically color correct any darkness that I have around the eyes. And then very lightly tapping it. This is just to cancel out any of that pigmentation on your lids. We'll do the under eyes later. And then I'm taking my Charlotte Tilbury concealer and I'm gonna apply that as a base for my lids. I'm gonna start with a little bit. Just apply a little bit in the inner corners. And then I'm just going to blend that out. Gonna add a little bit more. I don't suggest this concealer for dry skin because it is very full coverage and matte, so it's not really gonna sit well on dry skin, but I highly recommend this if you have normal to oily skin. It is so good. It's one of the only concealers that I feel I have loved in my life. I used to love the Too Faced one, but this one is like beyond that. Making sure that I have a nice even base that is quite bright. And don't forget your inner corners because that is where you have the most darkness. And when you don't have that nicely concealed, that's when the eye makeup looks patchy, bad, and just not well done. And I'm also gonna pull that outside a little bit. And then I'm using the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom powder and just making sure that nothing is sitting in my lines. And then I'm just going to set that. And make sure you're setting the inner corners and over here. That's perfect. So now your lids are ready for eyeshadow. And I'm gonna start with this bronzy shade. And I'm gonna apply that in my crease. Now it's a very soft color, so it's perfect for your transition shade. And you're gonna build that. So you're also gonna apply that in the outer corners. And then you're gonna take that in your crease. It's barely showing, but that's exactly what's gonna create that nice transition. I'm gonna go a little bit more neutral today. So I'm gonna take this shade on the same brush. I should have used another one. And then I'm gonna apply that just in my outer corners and start creating that depth and shape to the eye. Apply that in circular motions, and then whatever's left, you're gonna start bringing that into the crease and hold the brush at the end so you have less control over it. Round pencil, this one is from Makeup by Mario. And I'm only going to apply that in my outer corners. So I'm going to apply it thinnest at the start and going thicker as I come outside, but again not too thick, and close to my lash line so that no white spots are showing. Basically want to start 3/4 of the way outside, and then using a little bit of a darker eyeshadow on a flat brush, I'm lightly going to just smoke that out. Just gonna make sure no gaps are showing. So I'm gonna press a little bit of that brown eyeshadow and then I'm just going to smoke it out. I forgot to record these, but I'm just taking a dark brown eyeshadow and I'm just deepening the outer V, basically creating extra depth. And what was left on the brush, I'm just going to bring that in and create sort of a crease. Again, I missed recording this, but I'm using this shimmer from the Makeup by Mario palette and applying it on the center of my lid, and then taking whatever's left on the sides as well. Using some micellar water again, I'm just gonna clean up under the eyes. Using this brown eyeliner from NYX and pressing it against my lashes just to give some depth to the eye. Not really creating an eyeliner, and then very lightly bring that out to create a tiny wing. Instead of using the liner like this, holding the liner like this, hold it flat against your lash line. So that's going to give you, it's going to make it easy actually to apply the line. Taking the same dark brown eyeshadow that we used before, I'm going to start from the outer corners of my eyes and go over my lash line. And by the time I come to the center, very little product is going to be left. And that's perfect to create that smooth transition. Using the Huda Beauty color corrector again, I'm gonna go under my eyes, sides of my mouth, just over here. I'm gonna tap that in with a brush. If you feel like you've gone in with too much color corrector, you can always take a beauty blender and just dab it till you have just the right amount of product. So what you do is you take a beauty blender, you're just going to dab till you have the right amount of product. The look very bronzy, so I'm starting with the Rare Beauty contour first, and I'm gonna go slightly heavy handed first. It's almost like I'm underpainting. I'm gonna take a little bit here as well, whatever's left on the brush. Then using my Makeup by Mario F4 brush, I'm gonna start blending that. Bring that into my hairline. Look a little bit scary, but it's fine. I look absolutely crazy right now, but it's fine. This is trust the process. Now using the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, couple of pumps, coat my brush, and then start applying that on the rest of my face. I'm going to avoid the under eye area. Then you might be like, the bronzer's gonna get hidden. Yes, it will, but we'll bring it back. I'm not gonna go everywhere. Using the other side that I used for the bronzer, I'm just gonna start dabbing. And now you can see that there is, you can still see the bronzer. The two. Using this liquid blush from NARS, this is in the shade Orgasm. Then I'm going to take that on my brush, start applying that just over the bronzer. It's a very subtle flush of pink. It just melts beautifully into the skin. Then I'm going to use a little bit of this shade Virtue from Rare Beauty just in the center. And that's going to make that pink pop. Just going to bring a little bit on my nose. Using the same Charlotte Tilbury concealer, I'm going to go under my eyes. Just a little bit here. The center of my nose. I'm just gonna brighten that up with a little bit of a lighter shade, adding that next to it, just a little bit here, and then using my house lamps brush first. So pretty. And then bring that to the sides on my chin, and this is where the whole makeup look literally comes to blender. And first start dabbing the edges, and you don't start dabbing under the center of your eye first, because otherwise you're going to pick up a lot of concealer and then bring that out on your blush. So by this way you're just blending the blush into the concealer first, and then you're gonna blend your under eye. Now you can bring that in the center of your forehead, and using the side where I haven't used for the concealer, I'm gonna blend it with the rest. And using the same blush brush without any more product, just gonna blend the two. Make sure you're bringing that under your eye a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. So now you have a seamless blush into concealer transition. Now I'm gonna set my entire face with the Huda Beauty powder in the shade Banana Bread. Now you wanna make sure you're powdering your face well, because if you're running around, it's hot, we don't want the makeup to kind of crease, crack, slip, whatever. We can always bring back that glass finish with a spray, but if you're someone with oily skin, just make sure you're powdering well. And then taking the shade Cherry Blossom, just gonna make sure there's nothing sitting in my lines. So tap that, prepping my puff. I'm gonna set that. Dusting everything off very lightly, going in with the Milani Baked Bronzer. I'm going to start applying that everywhere where I applied the liquid bronzer. This is just to set everything and to kind of bring that dimension back. Using that same bronzer on a small eyeshadow brush, just gonna apply it on the sides of my nose. Applying this Coral blush from Dior just above the bronzer. So applying this NYX blush just on the high points. Filling in my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I don't know what shade this is. In the shade Medium Brown. Do you see how it's just brought the makeup, it's brought everything together. Shiseido curler, and I'm going to give my lashes a good curl. Now you can also apply false lashes if you are comfortable, but I'm going to not apply them because I know a lot of you don't apply them. The L'Oreal Extensionist Mascara. Give my lashes a good coat. And I love this mascara because the wand is so easy to reach, even your inner lashes, because it's not thick. Do you see what a difference that makes? I'm also going to apply that to my lower lashes. My lips. I'm going to start with Endless Cacao. It's a cool tone lip liner because I want to contour my lips. And then using Limitless Brown again from Makeup Forever, and then going in inside the line. It's Spice from Makeup by Mario. And I'm going to use this lifter glaze from Maybelline. Just on top. And then finish that off with MAC Fix Plus. Makeup is done. It's looking polished, glowy, bronzy. So see you at the next wedding.